What's up, firearm enthusiasts? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into territory that separates the casual shooters from the recoil junkies. We're ranking the 10 most dangerous handgun calibers ever created. These aren't your everyday 9mm or .38 specials. We're talking about hand cannons that can drop a grizzly, punch through engine blocks, and send inexperienced shooters straight to the chiropractor. Whether you're a serious hunter, a collector of exotic firearms, or just someone who appreciates engineering that pushes the limits, this countdown has something that'll either impress you or make your wrists hurt just thinking about it. Before we get started, remember to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos on extreme firearms and shooting sports. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the .445 Super Magnum. Number 10, .445 Super Magnum. Not the most well-known caliber, but certainly deserving of its place among the most dangerous handguns rounds ever designed. Developed in the 1990s by Dean Grennell, the .445 Super Magnum was essentially created by necking down a .454 CASULL case to accept .429 caliber bullets. The result? A handgun round that generates over 1,500 foot-pounds of energy, more than triple what you'd get from a standard .45 ACP. What makes the .445 Super Magnum particularly dangerous is its combination of blistering velocity and substantial bullet weight. Typical loads push a 240-grain bullet at around 1,800 feet per second. That's comparable to some rifle cartridges, but coming from a platform you can hold with one hand, theoretically at least. For hunters, this means clean, ethical kills on deer-sized game out to distances where most handgun hunters wouldn't even consider taking a shot. The sectional density of the bullets used in .445 Super Magnum loads contributes to exceptional penetration, creating wound channels that maximize tissue damage and blood loss. For bullet selection, the .445 Super Magnum uses the same .429-inch diameter projectiles as the .44 Magnum, giving handloaders a wide variety of options from 180 grains up to 300-plus grains. Pros: exceptional penetration capabilities that can punch through thick hide and bone, surprisingly manageable recoil compared to some other calibers on this list, versatile hunting round capable of taking down large game at decent distances, uses readily available .429-inch bullets, simplifying hand-loading component sourcing, flatter trajectory than most Magnum handgun cartridges, improving accuracy at distance. Cons: limited ammunition availability. You're almost certainly going to be hand-loading. Few production firearms chambered for this caliber. Expensive to shoot, with components costing significantly more than mainstream calibers, requires specialized knowledge for proper hand-loading due to high pressures. Finding gunsmiths experienced with this caliber can be challenging. Coming in at number 9 is the .440 COR-BON. Number 9, .440 COR-BON. Another specialized Magnum cartridge that walks the fine line between handgun and rifle power. Developed in 1998 by Peter P. of COR-BON Ammunition, the .440 COR-BON was created as a competitor to the .44 Magnum but with significantly enhanced ballistics. It was designed by necking down a 50 AE case to accept .429 caliber bullets, essentially making it a stretched .44 Magnum on steroids. When firing a 240-grain bullet, the .440 COR-BON generates velocities approaching 1,900 feet per second from a 7.5-inch barrel. That translates to over 1,700 foot-pounds of energy, enough to make short work of any North American game animal. What makes the Desert Eagle particularly suited for the .440 COR-BON is its rotating bolt design, similar to what you'd find in an AR-15 rifle. This system locks the bolt securely into the barrel extension, containing the massive pressure generated by the cartridge. The gas system then bleeds off a portion of the expanding gases to cycle the action, which both reduces felt recoil and ensures reliable operation. Let's talk accuracy with the .440 COR-BON. With its higher velocities and flatter trajectory compared to the .44 Magnum, The .44-0 can deliver impressive accuracy at distances beyond what most handgun hunters would consider. From a properly mounted scope on a Desert Eagle with a 10-inch barrel, 3-inch groups at 100 yards are achievable, performance approaching that of some carbines. The ammunition itself is a fascinating study in ballistic engineering. The case measures 1.30 inches in length, compared to the 1.29 inches of the .50 AE parent case, a slight lengthening to prevent chambering in .50 AE firearms. The shoulder angle and neck length were carefully designed to prevent the case from stretching during firing, which could lead to case head separation under the intense pressures. The ballistic coefficient of typical .440 COR-BON loads also contributes to its effectiveness at extended ranges. A 300-grain flat-point bullet from the 440 COR-BON will drop approximately 3.5 inches at 100 yards when zeroed at 50 yards. Compare that to nearly 6 inches of drop for a similar .44 MAGNUM load, and you can see why this cartridge appeals to those hunting in open country where longer shots are possible. Pros: exceptional terminal ballistics with deep penetration, more powerful than a .44 Magnum while using the same bullet diameter. Excellent hunting round for large, dangerous game. Semi-automatic platform allows for faster follow-up shots. Flatter trajectory extends effective hunting range beyond typical handgun distances. Cons: brutal recoil that fatigues even experienced shooters. Limited platform availability, primarily chambered in Desert Eagle pistols. Factory ammunition is rare and expensive when you can find it. Desert Eagle's size and weight make it cumbersome for field carry. Significant muzzle blast can be disorienting, especially in hunting scenarios. The .440 COR-BON's main claim to fame was its adoption by MAGNUM Research for use in their Desert Eagle platform. However, it never achieved widespread popularity and remains a niche cartridge for enthusiasts who demand MAGNUM revolver ballistics in a semi-automatic platform. Number 8. .480 Ruger. At number 8, we have the .480 Ruger, a caliber specifically designed to bridge the gap between the .44 Magnum and the wrist-breaking .475 LINEBAUGH. Introduced in 2003 by Ruger and Hornady, the .480 Ruger was marketed as a more manageable alternative to the Super Magnums while still offering enough power for hunting any North American game. It fires a .47 5-inch diameter bullet, the same as the LINEBAUGH cartridges, but with more moderate pressure and energy levels. A typical .480 Ruger load pushes a 325 grain bullet at around 1,350 feet per second, delivering approximately 1,300 foot-pounds of energy. That's still about 30% more powerful than a hot .44 Magnum load, but without crossing into the territory that demands specialized, extra-heavy revolvers. The primary platform for the .480 Ruger is Ruger's Super Red Hawk, a revolver built like a tank and designed specifically to handle cartridges that would tear lesser handguns apart. When you pick up a Super Red Hawk chambered in .480 Ruger, the first thing you notice is the substantial heft, typically around 53 ounces unloaded. That's over 3 pounds of stainless steel, and every ounce serves a purpose in managing the recoil of this powerful cartridge. The cylinder dimensions of the .480 Ruger deserve special attention. With a case length of 1.285 inches compared to the .44 Magnum's 1.16 inches, the cylinder needed to be both longer and stronger. Ruger accomplished this by using their signature integral cylinder frame design, where the frame completely encloses the rear of the cylinder, providing maximum support against the substantial pressure. For example, a 325 grain bullet in .480 Ruger has a sectional density of around .274 compared to .217 for a 240 grain bullet in .44 Magnum. This translates directly to deeper, straighter penetration through tough material, a critical factor when hunting large, heavy-boned animals like elk or moose, or when considering defense against dangerous predators like brown bears. Ammunition options for the .480 Ruger, while not as extensive as mainstream calibers, offer enough variety for most applications. Hornady's custom line includes both 325 grain and 400 grain loads, with the heavier bullet moving at around 1,200 feet per second. Buffalo bore and COR-BON both offer specialized hunting loads, pushing the limits of the cartridge's potential, with velocities approaching 1,400 feet per second, with 325 grain bullets. For handloaders, the .480 Ruger presents an excellent opportunity. The cartridge responds well to a variety of powder types, with H110, Winchester .296, and Lil Gun being particularly popular choices. Bullet selection is impressive, with options ranging from 275 grains up to 440 grains, allowing loads to be tailored for specific purposes, from hunting thin-skinned game to protection against the largest predators. For those venturing into bear country, the .480 Ruger offers sufficient power for defense without the punishing recoil of larger calibers that might hinder accurate shot placement in a high-stress situation. The 6-round capacity of the Super Red Hawk also provides more firepower than many single-shot or 5-shot alternatives in the Super Magnum category. Pros: excellent balance of power and shootability, superior sectional density for deep penetration on large game, more practical for regular shooting sessions than the larger Magnums, available in production revolvers without custom modifications. 6-round capacity offers more firepower than many comparable Magnums. Cons: never achieved the popularity of the .44 Magnum despite ballistic advantages. Limited selection of commercial loadings compared to established calibers still generates significant recoil that can be punishing during extended sessions, required for comfortable shooting add weight to hunting kit. Factory ammunition tends to be expensive compared to mainstream calibers. The .480 Ruger found its home primarily in Ruger's Super Red Hawk revolver, offering hunters and outdoorsmen a practical option for defense against large predators. While it hasn't dethroned the .44 Magnum in popularity, it remains a respected choice for those seeking serious stopping power without stepping up to the true hand cannons. Number 7. .475 WILDEY Magnum. Lucky number 7 on our countdown is the .475 WILDEY Magnum, a round that gained unexpected fame after appearing in the 1985 Charles Bronson film Death Wish 3. Developed by Wildey Moore in the 1970s, specifically for his gas-operated Wildey pistol, this cartridge represents one of the most powerful semi-automatic pistol rounds ever fielded. The Wildey pistol itself is a fascinating piece of engineering, using a gas system similar to many rifles to help tame the massive recoil. With ballistics that push a 300-grain bullet to velocities around 1,500 feet per second, the .475 WILDEY Magnum generates approximately 1,500 foot-pounds of energy. That puts it firmly in the territory of serious, dangerous game-stopping power. The Wildey pistol deserves special attention as perhaps the most unique firearm on our list. Unlike traditional semi-automatic handguns that use the energy from recoil to cycle the action, the Wildey employs a gas-operated system more commonly found in modern rifles. A small port in the barrel diverts a portion of the expanding gases to operate a piston, which in turn cycles the slide. Let's talk about dimensions. The Wildey in .475 Magnum typically features an 8-inch barrel, bringing the overall length to nearly 14 inches, approaching the size of some compact carbines. The weight is equally substantial at approximately 55 ounces unloaded, but this mass is essential for managing the significant recoil energy. The .475 Wildey Magnum cartridge itself has an interesting development history. Wildey Moore started with the .284 Winchester rifle case as the parent case, shortening it and expanding the rim to create a unique auto pistol cartridge. The resulting case measures 1.25 inches in length, with a rebaited rim design that allows for reliable feeding and extraction in the semi-automatic action. Operating at pressures approaching 48,000 psi, the .475 Wildey Magnum generates ballistics that blur the line between handgun and rifle performance. Factory loadings typically drive a 300-grain bullet at velocities around 1,500 feet per second, resulting in energy figures exceeding 1,500 foot-pounds, comparable to some centerfire rifle cartridges like the .3030 Winchester. For perspective, that's about 50% more energy than a standard .44 Magnum load delivered from a semi-automatic platform that allows for quicker follow-up shots. The .475 diameter bullets also offer an excellent balance of frontal area and sectional density, contributing to the cartridge's reputation for deep, straight penetration even through heavy bone and dense muscle tissue. The WILDEY's cultural impact can't be overlooked. Its appearance in Death Wish 3 introduced it to a wide audience and cemented its place in firearms pop culture. Charles Bronson's character memorably refers to it as the most powerful handgun in the world, a claim that wasn't entirely accurate even then, but the gun's imposing presence and devastating ballistics made it a perfect match for the film's vigilante justice theme. Pros: one of the most powerful semi-automatic pistol cartridges ever created. Gas operation of the WILDEY pistol helps manage the significant recoil. Excellent terminal ballistics with deep, straight penetration channels. Adjustable gas system allows customization for different ammunition. Fixed barrel design contributes to exceptional accuracy potential. Cultural icon status thanks to film appearances. Cons: extremely expensive specialized ammunition. The WILDEY pistol is the only production firearm chambered for this round, complex pistol design with more maintenance requirements than revolvers. Limited availability of both firearms and ammunition. Size and weight make it impractical for most applications beyond range use. Requires specialized knowledge for hand loading. The .475 WILDEY Magnum remains something of a cult classic, known to many film buffs, but fired by relatively few shooters. Its combination of power and the unique gas-operated WILDEY pistol makes it one of the most interesting entries on our list, even if it's not the most practical for everyday use. Number 6.460 ROWLAND. Breaking into our top 6 is a round that looks deceptively similar to a common caliber, the mighty .460 ROWLAND. Developed by Johnny Rowland in 1996, the .460 ROWLAND was designed to deliver .44 Magnum-level performance from a semi-automatic pistol. What makes this round particularly interesting is that it can be fired from modified 1911 pattern pistols and other .45 ACP firearms with the appropriate conversion kit. Looking at the ballistics, the .460 ROWLAND pushes a 230 grain bullet at around 1,300 feet per second, generating approximately 865 foot-pounds of energy, nearly double what you'd get from a standard .45 ACP. That's serious power from a platform many shooters are already familiar with. Pros: can be used in converted .45 ACP firearms, making it more accessible, provides Magnum revolver power in a high-capacity semi-automatic platform, excellent terminal ballistics with significantly flatter trajectory than .45 ACP. Cons: requires compensators or ports to manage the substantial recoil, conversion kits and stronger recoil springs needed for reliable operation. Higher pressure cartridge requires careful hand loading and quality components. The .460 ROWLAND represents a fascinating approach to maximizing handgun power, taking a proven platform and pushing it to its mechanical limits. For those seeking serious defensive or hunting capability without switching to a revolver or Desert Eagle-sized semi-auto, the .460 ROWLAND offers a compelling option. Number 5.475 LINEBAUGH. We're now entering the realm of true hand cannons with our number 5 entry, the legendary .475 LINEBAUGH. Created by custom gunsmith John Linebaugh in the late 1980s, the .475 LINEBAUGH was developed specifically for hunting the largest and most dangerous game in North America. Linebaugh's philosophy was simple: bigger bullets make bigger holes, and bigger holes lead to quicker, more humane kills on large animals. This massive cartridge fires a 475-inch diameter bullet weighing between 380 and 440 grains at velocities approaching 1,400 feet per second. That translates to over 1,800 foot-pounds of energy, enough to stop a charging bear in its tracks. Pros: exceptional stopping power against the largest game animals, tremendous penetration even through heavy bone and tissue, superior sectional density contributes to straight, deep wound channels. Cons: brutal recoil that can be painful even for experienced shooters, requires specially built heavy frame revolvers to handle the pressure, extremely expensive to shoot, with limited factory ammunition available. The .475 LINEBAUGH remains primarily the domain of serious handgun hunters and guides in bear country. While it's not a cartridge you'd want to plink with all afternoon, it represents a purpose-built solution for those who need absolute stopping power from a handgun. Number 4, .454 CASULL. Just missing the podium at number 4 is the .454 CASULL, the first of the modern Super Magnum handgun cartridges, and a round that changed what people thought was possible from a revolver. Developed by Dick CASULL and Jack Fulmer in 1957, the .454 CASULL didn't see commercial production until the 1990s, when Freedom Arms began chambering their Model 83 revolver for this powerhouse round. Essentially, a lengthened and strengthened .45 Colt case, the .454 CASULL generates pressures more than twice that of its predecessor. When loaded to its potential, the .454 CASULL can push a 300-grain bullet at velocities exceeding 1,650 feet per second, creating over 1,800 foot-pounds of energy. That puts it firmly in the class of cartridges capable of taking any game animal in North America. Pros: widespread commercial availability compared to other Super Magnums, multiple revolver options from manufacturers like Ruger, Taurus, and Freedom Arms, versatile, can often fire. Colt ammunition for practice or lighter loads. Cons: significant muzzle blast and flash, especially from shorter barrels, punishing recoil that can develop flinching even in experienced shooters, premium ammunition costs that make regular practice expensive. The .454 CASULL earns its place on our list not just for its raw power, but for its influence. As the first commercially successful Super Magnum handgun cartridge, it paved the way for many of the other calibers we're discussing today. It remains a benchmark against which other powerful handgun cartridges are measured. Number 3.50 Action Express. Breaking into our top 3 at the bronze medal position is the iconic .50 Action Express, the round that made the Desert Eagle a household name among firearms enthusiasts. Developed in the late 1980s by Evan Wilden of Action Arms, the .50 AE was designed specifically for use in the Israeli military industry's Desert Eagle pistol. With its half-inch diameter bullet, it delivers visual and ballistic impact that few handgun cartridges can match. The .50 AE typically fires a 300-grain bullet at around 1,475 feet per second, generating approximately 1,450 foot-pounds of energy. That's comparable to many rifle cartridges, but from a semi-automatic handgun platform. Pros: immediately recognizable status symbol in the firearms world, excellent stopping power with massive frontal area, available in the iconic Desert Eagle platform with multi-round magazine capacity. Cons: extremely loud report that necessitates double hearing protection, significant recoil that makes quick follow-up shots challenging, limited practical applications beyond range enjoyment, and specialized hunting. The .50 Action Express has transcended its ballistic specifications to become a cultural icon, appearing in countless films, video games, and media representations of ultimate handgun power. While it may not be the most practical choice for everyday use, its combination of power, semi-automatic operation, and unmistakable presence earns it the number 3 spot on our list. Number 2.500 LINEBAUGH. Taking the silver medal in our countdown is the mighty .500 LINEBAUGH, the bigger brother to the .475 LINEBAUGH we covered earlier. Also created by John LINEBAUGH in the late 1980s, the .500 LINEBAUGH represents his philosophy of bigger is better, taken to near maximum levels for a practical revolver cartridge. Built on a modified .348 Winchester case and featuring a 5-10-inch diameter bullet, this round was designed with one purpose: stopping the largest game animals with a single well-placed shot. When loaded to its potential, the .500 LINEBAUGH drives a 440-grain bullet at approximately 1,300 feet per second, generating over 1,650 foot-pounds of energy. Those numbers don't tell the whole story, though. The massive bullet creates wound channels that maximize tissue damage and blood loss. Pro-S. True stopping power against the largest dangerous game. Superior penetration even through the heaviest bone and muscle. The psychological advantage of carrying what amounts to a handheld howitzer. Cons. Limited to custom or small production revolvers built on the strongest frames, significant weight and bulk required to make the recoil manageable, extremely expensive to shoot, with virtually all ammunition being hand-loaded. The 500 LINEBAUGH remains primarily the domain of serious handgun hunters and professional guides in grizzly country. While it's been somewhat overshadowed commercially by our #1 pick, many ballistics experts still consider it the ideal balance of power and shootability in an extreme caliber revolver. Number 1.46 S&W MAGNUM. Taking the crown as the most dangerous handgun caliber of all time is the ballistic beast known as the .460 Smith & Wesson MAGNUM. Introduced by Smith & Wesson in 2005, the .460 S&W MAGNUM was designed to be the most versatile of the Super Magnum handgun cartridges. Built on a lengthened .454 CASULL case, which was itself a lengthened .45 Colt, this monster cartridge generates the highest velocities of any production revolver cartridge in history. The numbers are staggering. The .460 S&W MAGNUM launches a 300-grain bullet at velocities exceeding 2,300 feet per second, generating over 3,500 foot-pounds of energy. Let me put that in perspective. That's more energy than many centerfire rifle cartridges, coming from a platform you can, theoretically, hold with one hand. Pros. Highest velocity of any production handgun cartridge. Extremely flat trajectory makes longer range shots possible. Versatile. Can also fire .454 CASULL and .45 Colt ammunition in the same revolver. Cons. Absolutely punishing recoil that can injure unprepared shooters, deafening report that requires serious hearing protection, expensive ammunition that costs upwards of $3 to $5 per trigger pull. The .460 S&W MAGNUM earns its place at the top of our list through a combination of commercial availability, extreme ballistics, and versatility. While cartridges like the 500 S&W MAGNUM may have larger bullets, the .460's velocity advantage gives it an edge in terms of energy, penetration, and flat trajectory. There you have it, the 10 most dangerous handgun calibers ever created. From the versatile .445 Super Magnum to the Velocity King, .460 S&W MAGNUM, these cartridges represent the absolute pinnacle of handgun power. It's worth noting that dangerous doesn't necessarily mean best. Each of these rounds was designed for specific purposes, whether that's hunting large game, providing protection in bear country, or simply pushing the boundaries of what's possible in handgun ballistics. If you're thinking about trying any of these wrist snappers, start with proper training and the right equipment. These aren't calibers to approach casually, but with respect for the immense energy they generate. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Next week, we'll be looking at the most innovative shotgun designs of the past decade. Until then, shoot safely, shoot responsibly, and I'll see you at the range.